Hello everybody, my name is Anthony. Welcome to a brand new Let's Play series in Kaiserreich as, well, for now the United States of America, but this eventually is going to become a CSA campaign. A lot of people, or a few people have been asking me to, hey, you should play as a CSA, and you know, that's what we're going to do. So this is just going to be following up after the Sweden campaign, which I think would have just ended yesterday by the time that this video is going live. War Department expansion. Or the U.S. Navy. Well, let's go for the War Department expansion. That's fine. So, to become so like I just said, we are going to be playing as a CSA, and how we are going to basically structure the American Civil War, because, you know, there are ways that as the U.S. before the election, or I think just after the election, you can kind of change things slightly. We are going to attempt to do, like, the four-way CSA, AUS, and then the PSA. And I guess the New England and all them will secede on their own. That's fine. But we're going to try to create the four-way Civil War as best as possible. I think at some point, like, I won't really be able to get to control it, but that's fine. So research level, we have 4. Let's go for you. And then for the basic machine tools, construction speed, and for the research speed. And I think that's fine for now. I mean, we can kind of cheat a little bit. I think that, you know, putting factories way up in the north and ignoring the south, or ignoring, like, California, does kind of tip the balance against us, or, you know, against other people slightly. You know, so we can slightly cheat. So we have right now 223 factories. Only 12 of them are military. So we have a ton of civilian factories now, 173 in total, which is, you know, a significant amount. So because of that, we are basically only going to build some military factories. And I'm going to try to disperse them somewhat evenly, so that it's just, you know, it's not only benefiting me, it's benefiting, you know, everybody. Just try to make it fair. Trying to make it seem as if I don't know that a war is going to happen. If that makes any sense. So if we have some free civilian factories, or free military factories, so let's just go make some more rifles. And we're going to have to start already building up our navy, because that is going to be important. We are absolutely going to need to become a naval power. So, let's go for some improved dreadnoughts. That sounds fine. We'll build some aircraft carriers. We'll build some submarines, because I'm sure we have some of those as well. And then also we can build... How many convoys? We have 100 convoys, you know, double convoy production. Camera carrier hull. Well, what about improved cruisers as well? And that should be fine. There we go. So we also have some decisions available. Just a 50 Army naval experience. That's okay. We will take that. Unassigned division. So as the United States right now, we have 5 divisions. We have a pretty decently sized navy, but we have 5 soldiers right now. So what the hell do you do with 5 troops? Well, basically nothing. So I'll put you into an army. I'll put you 3 into an army. And, where's the 5th troop? Oh, okay, he's in Panama. Okay, well, fine. We'll have these 3 guys. Turn off Fog of War, because, again, Fog of War looks dreadful. Put them underneath a field marshal. So you, I guess, will be on the border right here with Canada. I don't know where else to, you know, realistically put you. We'll have Douglas MacArthur in charge, because he's probably going to take care, or become leader of the United States at some point in the future. So you can just be on a fallback line. Here you go. There you go. Fantastic. And then you will be on a border, I guess, with Mexico? Like, I don't know where else to put you. We'll still go to speed 5. Well, yeah. I mean, that should be okay. Because Mexico is the radical socialist right now. Canada is market liberal. We're market liberal. So we do have, like, a slight friendliness bonus with them. United States in 1936. In 1936, the United States of America is gripped in an unrelenting crisis, although able to avoid the horrors of the Weltkrieg, which allowed its prosperity to continue on until the 1920s. During victory in the Weltkrieg, followed by the French and British revolutions, led to the Wall Street crash of 1925. This sent the United States spiraling into a Great Depression and allowed the Berlin stock market to take its place at the forefront of the world economy. The election of Herbert Hoover in 1928, while initially promising, failed to entirely to reverse the decline of the American economy. By 1936, the country has spent over a decade in the midst of the worst financial crisis it has ever faced. This fueled the rise of radical parties in America, from the far left Socialist Party of America to the far right American First Party. Hoover's contentious re-election by the means of the House of Representatives in 1932 and the ongoing Great Depression means that these problems are unlikely to get resolved anytime soon. Many throughout the country fear the upheaval will result in one of the extreme parties succumb to power, or should the depression continue unabated. God save America. Well, our goal basically is we're going to try to elect Reed to the presidency in November, because I'm pretty sure that means that currency's dead. That should lead to MacArthur taking control of the country. The crime spree sweeps the nation as America spirals ever deeper into chaos. There's a wave of crime throughout the country. Many of these criminals are getting sensationalist news stories about their activities, especially gangsters like John DeLinger and the scandalous Bonnie and Clyde. Thankfully, the Bureau of Investigation has been working hard to catch these criminals and bring some of them back to America. Of course, the American First Party and the Socialist Party of America have begun attributing these crimes to moral decline and the robber baron, respectively. The stability is low. 20% stability, 18% party support, 24% war support. Of course, they did change it so that you are no longer able to avoid the American Civil War. Like, it is guaranteed to happen. So basically the question is, how difficult is it? Or how bad is it going to be? The War Department expansion. The Totalist Charter. That's fine. Army reform. Probably go for the Army reform, I think. Americans. Democracy triumphs. Old order prevails. Reintroduce the Ganger-Wanger Bill. Edward VIII crowned as King of Britain because the old king just died. War Plan White. The Hawking Plan. What do you actually do? Does not pass. War Plan White. MacArthur's Plan. Reconciliation with Canada. No, that's fine. Don't worry about that too much. So these are, they're pretty short. Only 35 days per focus. Props from legislation cities. That's good. Yeah, the Afghanistan-India War. Literally always happens, so there's no reason to even look at it. So let's reintroduce the bill. Okay, the bill has been reintroduced with assurances made by President Hoover that, unlike in 1932, this time he will not veto the bill. Democratic Senator Robert Wagner and Speaker of the House John Nancy Garner have reintroduced their unemployment relief legislation package. Many in Congress feel that this package does not go nearly far enough. Many others wonder how America, in the midst of the massive economic crisis, will possibly ever pay for it. The president of senators from the AFP and the SPA also complicates things immensely. Even with Hoover's pledge, it is unknown if Gardner-Waller has a real chance of passing. In a status of the U.S. Army, the defense of the United States has always been in uphill battles, stretched thin across the vast breadth of North American continent. The United States Army has little chance of distinguishing itself throughout the 160-year history. It won a bare minimum of victories to maintain American independence during the Revolution and the War of 1812. It performed admirably against the corrupt regime in the Mexican-American War, but half of those forces were probably to provide the seed for the fledgling Confederate Army during the ensuing Civil War. More recently, the Army performed barely adequately to subdue the heavily outgunned Spanish and struggled to suppress a half-starved Filipino insurgency for more than 30 years ago. Prevented from joining the Weltkrieg on either side, it is suffered in both doctrine and technology with no tanks at all, a small air corps, subsidiary to the ground force, with the hobbled lion that was the British Empire on the northern frontier, and the Syndicate stronghold points to the south. The U.S. Army must be asked to defend the Republic from enemies within and without. If you agree on, basically everything's trash. The United States is in a poor situation. Black Monday has happened. Apparently, the Great Depression just gets even worse, which is, I didn't know was possible. So I guess we're going to start training up a handful of divisions. Train up some cavalry divisions as well, because why not? Apparently, we don't have a single tank, apparently, to our entire name. Do we even have any in production? No, I don't even know if we're not building any either. I think, aren't they like the really shitty artillery as well? Gridlock in France. Well, let's see. Technology. Yeah, we're not even using, we're using like the very, very beginning artillery, which is very old. A coalition ticket. 1936 election is looking like one of the most contentious in American history. Many politicians within the upper circle of the Republican Democratic parties fear that a victory of the Socialist Party of America or the American First Party would mean the end of America and the American way of life. In order to avoid this, a plan has been proposed within the halls of the power to form a coalition ticket between the Republican and Democratic parties, with the progressive Senator Floyd Olson of Minnesota as the presidential candidate. This plan is unlikely to become popular with the low-ranking members of the parties, but it may be the only thing to prevent a radical party from gaining strength. Coalition would debase the democratic system. I don't know if that's true. Coalition, if you can keep it. Well, I don't know how the election works. You know, let's go coalition and make our no stability at all in this country. Basically, piss everybody off. I'm sure a 0% stability is fantastic. A negative 160 political power is going well. Long and Reed demand changes. As expected, the early challenges to the Gardner-Wagner bill have come from the AFP and the SPA. Huey Long and the senators have demanded a vast increase to Social Security provisions in the bill provides. Provisions most other senators say America could never afford. Jack Reed and the SPA, meanwhile, say the bill does not go far enough to protect the average worker, particularly from exploitation by struggling corporations. Both parties have attracted a lot of media attention, adding to the general sense of disorder and tension in Congress. So again, everything in the United States is going swimmingly. You literally could not have a more stable democracy right now. I mean, Russia's probably like a lesser, an even more unstable country, but that's fine. So let's get some things from the Ottoman Empire. Let's get some rubber from the Dutch East Indies. That all seems fine to me, so we can at least build up our navy slightly. So who won the Afghanistan War? Unsurprisingly, the Indians did, which they basically always do. I wonder what's going to happen with Russia this time around, because in both of the Middle Africa campaign and in the Sweden campaign, Russia was on a two-front war with the Soviets and the Japanese and literally couldn't defeat either of them. Senator break ranks. After weeks of negotiations, a number of establishment senators have broken ranks over the coming vote for the Gardner-Wagner bill, most notably Robert Wagner, one of the bill's proposers, who says he will not vote for the bill unless protections for federal unemployment insurance are re-added. Many other Democratic Republican senators are concerned about the influence of the AFP and the SPA, and they claim they will not vote on the bill if any concessions are made to either group. Though others say that not according to either the FPA or the SPA will make passage difficult, if not impossible. President Hoover will need to intervene to save the bill. Well, we're going to try to force the establishment to compromise with the SPA. Because I'm trying to get Reed elected, and again, I don't know if these decisions matter. Seize control of Ecuador. That's fine, I really don't care about that whatsoever. Father Charles Coughlin's CBS radio broadcast. Apparently the Pope's doing some weird shit here as well. 3 years ago today, Father Charles Coughlin began a weekly radio broadcast in America, and has now an audience of over 50 million people. He's a raving anti-Semite who claims that the Syndicate revolution in France was fermented by the Jew, and that the Berlin stock market crash is an international conspiracy of the Jewish bankers. Oh, well, okay then. And somehow people still tune in. His hate speech will not be tolerated by the church, and the Pope is expected to make a decision whether to ask the United States government to shut down the broadcast, so his hateful message cannot reach the public. So we're going to, the power goes down, stability goes down. No matter, you know what, we want the, we want these parties to get more popular. Lower stability even more, that's A-okay. Democracy in Australasia. Good for them. Well, I'm trying to destroy things here, so okay, please, Romania, just give me a second. The recent days have resulted in a compromise between many establishment senators and the Socialist Party of America, with numerous extra provisions included for worker protections and unemployment relief. Though nowhere near as far as the SPA originally demanded. Even so, Jack Reed has declared this as a victory and is riding high on recent polls. Both Huey Long's AFP and a large number of Democratic senators have declared this as a betrayal of the American public. However, and have vowed to sink the bill when the vote comes. Yeah, done what we can. So syndicalism and social liberalism goes up. Socialist Party of America gains political power. Greatly gains political power. Is there a thing in here? Field of Great Depression? No. Okay. We're making them even more popular. Death of the Pope. A sad time. So do we know what these guys are doing yet? Congresses, war economies. So far, nothing too surprising. You know, nothing crazy has happened yet. We will see. We will see. St. Patrick's Day flood. We should probably help them. They help themselves. I mean, that makes stability go down even more, but let us, yeah, we'll help those people. I think that seems a-okay. So we got our technology bonuses. International congresses are fine. I do believe that whatever texts we research here do carry over to the breakaway nations. I believe at least they should all have our same technology. So I guess you guys just prepare for an invasion down to like Beja, California. Even though, like, right now we really can't get much done. And you'll also deploy in the future as well. That's fine. We got a Canadian tank, so you basically just march over one province. And I'm sure that'll go well. I mean, you'd probably defeat this tank, in all honesty. You'd probably do okay. So is the bill going to fail? We shall see. Papal Conclave. The bill has failed. Political power goes down. The American First Party and the Socialist Party greatly gain political power. Okay. We've introduced a bill. After an incredibly close vote in Congress, the bill failed to pass. While several groups have declared a personal victory, protests have broken out in various parts of the country. There will be no relief for the American worker, and many have declared the government to be corrupt and dysfunctional. There will be considerable time to blame, but for the moment, the Hoover government concerns must turn to the growing violence throughout the American cities, violence which is expected to only worsen in the months leading up to the election. So political power goes down by another 100, 10% stability goes down, and both parties gain significant power. More AFP members announced congressional bids. While there's been a number of lawmakers from the American First Party in its brief life, particularly in the South, 1936 election represents an unprecedented number of people registering to run for office under the banner of the AFP, and just as many, if not more, nationwide pledging to vote for them. I mean, that's not great. Not great for us, especially on the Great Continent. The bill has failed. War Plan White. Social Liberal goes down. Bring out the National Guard. So basically, we can just start declaring, like, martial law in the country, and I don't think that's a bad idea. You know, why not? Let's go for some good old martial law. War Plan White. Destroy social liberalism. Which is, you know what, our party... Are we social liberals? Oh, we are social. We're not market. Canada's market, we're social. Fine. Understandable. So wait, so the new pope. Which pope are you? You are... You're Pius VI. Or are you Pius the 11th? The 12th? No, you're Stephen 10. Which one's Stephen 10? You are. Okay. You're the ones that are probably more likely to actually help out the, No, you're the more syndicalist one, I think. Helping those in need. Stanley Cup, that's fine. Not a big deal, I think, at all. So that is a... Okay. The Detroit White Wings have won the Stanley Cup. There we go. Plus 5 political power. We need it because we're at negative 350, which is, I would say, a pretty sad number to be at. But I do think this is going to be a good time to end this first episode. Thanks for watching. My name is Anthem. If you've enjoyed, run a thumbs up. Not knowing, you can always thumbs down. Subscribe, and goodbye.